Hey everyone, welcome into the Winning Edge. We are back with a reaction video and or prediction video, however you'd like to say it. We have the college football bracket officially. No more projections. It is the official bracket. We're going to break down and give our opinions, our expert opinions on
Expert,
how
yes.
we feel and how we
Expert.
think it should have gone and if we enjoy it. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Heisman finalists as we got down to the final four on them. We're going to go into um, recruiting. I want to talk about recruiting class right now. As of right now, what they sit top 25. There's some few surprises that I kind of want to get into, and then we'll wrap it all up with a little group engagement. Would like to get you guys to participate in and have a good time for a chance to win a little bit of hard cash. So here we go. Let's jump right into it. College football brackets official. It's official now. The championships last weekend have paved the way for a opportunity to, I guess, make the college football playoff. So here it is. Here it is, right there in front of your face. Jordan and Dan, welcome in, man. I'm so glad you guys to join me again today. This week, it's been a hell of a season so far, and sadly, we're getting towards the latter half of this where we're counting our weeks down. We have less weeks than than we had earlier, and I don't like that. So, Jordan, how we doing? And what is your initial quick thoughts on this bracket so far?
As a Penn State fan, I think I'm sitting pretty good. I'm feeling pretty confident. Kind of liking it. You know what I mean? Didn't think that losing the Big Ten championship game would actually benefit. So here we are. I'm not trying to discredit SMU, and I'm also definitely not trying to discredit Boise State. A lot of people saying that Penn State's got the easiest road. And you can take that for what it is. You could say Texas has got a fairly easy road as well. But I think anything can happen. That's what the beautiful thing is about brackets and playoff time, right? Is the right team or the wrong team could show up on the right day, right? That's just what it is. So feeling good about Penn State. Not loving the noon game, but you know, that's kind of what I live for big games over here in State College. So you know what I mean? It is what it is, but I'm feeling good. I'm probably in the minority, but very happy about this bracket and the way it is. All across the board, not just for Penn State's sake.
Very good. Daniel, how you feeling? One, and second, what's your initial quick thoughts?
I feel like I'm doing great. I feel like, though, too much attention being paid to the college football playoffs. The real football that you want to watch is going to be in other games, just like, for example, I don't know, the Citrus Bowl. I don't know. That's like where the real bowl season kind of stuff is coming. I think, you know, playoffs are cool and all, but I mean, it's kind of a dog and pony show, right? It's all everybody just strutting around. No, like I said,
parade, right? When a dog show comes on.
No, I mean, it is what it is. I think I was telling you guys earlier, the only thing that I think was just a bit like a small surprise to me and some of the other people was that IU ended up getting slaughtered with Notre Dame, SMU, and Penn State. A lot of people thought that was going to be flip-flop. But, you know, it creates an interesting matchup, right? IU, Notre Dame, in-state rivalry. You got to be exorbitantly wealthy to get tickets to the game, though. If you look at the prices, and you also had to be extremely lucky to apparently get them because they were like on sale but not on sale immediately, which was interesting.
It was officially sold out as of this morning, I believe. So
yeah,
there's gonna be like 4 IU fans there.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to get in there.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But it'd be interesting. Like I said, it'll be interesting being that we live by Notre Dame, right? They'll be hosting a college football playoff game. Again, it's going to be interesting because they're hosting an in-state school, right? So a little different than it could have been. It is neat, and it is good for the state as a whole. I think there's a couple, you know, intriguing matchups, right? You could see Ohio State and Oregon squaring off again, with the way the bracket's laid out, which is interesting. And then we get to see, you know, with Boise State, if we see Penn State win, right, you could argue that would be one of the few major tests then that Ginty would have, right? So he played against Oregon, did all right, but like another chance for him to kind of showcase his talents against what people would consider, you know, a top-tier defensive opponent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of good things that you could watch from that. So overall, I mean, it's sad because it's nearing the end of the season, but it's an exciting time of the season as well. So it's kind of that bittersweet thing.
Oh, I honestly believe that what they put on the table and what are the cards that we've been dealt with this playoff, adding obviously more teams and making it a 12-team playoff. I think for what we have, I mean, obviously there's things I wish there would be here and there or here nor there, but I'm telling you, every single one of these matchups is going to be must-watch football. I mean, hell, I mean, the way the season's gone, you can't, I mean, IU, for example, no one thought IU'd go undefeated up until the Ohio State game. Or no one thought SMU first year of the ACC would come out and have a dominant top 10 football team in the country. There's a lot of things that happened this season that, like, these first 1, 2, 3, 4 games that are going to be happening on December 20th and the 21st. Like, honestly, it's a 50-50 shot at this point. Like, whoever shows up wins the game. Like, it's going to be must-watch football, and I'm very, very excited that football's come down to this for opportunities to extend the season and also make it quality football, and not just your opening weekends where you have Alabama and Mercer or things like that. This is the big time games. We've had big time games all season. I'm just really pumped about that. I'm pumped to see kind of how these teams sit, right? Especially the bye week teams. Jordan, what do you think about them? Do you think it's going to be? They don't play for a long time. They're going to have almost not a month off, but they're going to have almost 3 weeks, dude.
Sometimes that can be bad, man.
All right, do you build rust up, or is it a great time to get healthy and get ready to roll?
I don't know. Some of these teams are pretty decently healthy, right? So I mean, like outside of Carson Beck, I don't think he's coming back for Georgia.
I heard that.
But
that's not good.
But yeah, that's not great. But I mean, that's a long time. Yeah, some of these teams, they're not playing until January 1st. That's crazy because that's like 21 days from now. That's 22 days. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's a lot of time. So
and they're not even going to be able to prepare for whoever wins these games until 2 weeks from now. So
yeah, I don't know if I like the big gaps between the games, right? You're getting all of these games on the 20th and the 21st, and you're not getting anything until 10, 11 days later.
Yeah.
I think I would like to be in a week and then another week. And then, granted, we don't know what, it's probably not going to be until January 7th. But as far as these first round buys, Oregon, best team in the country, obviously. Georgia obviously deserves that as well. Boise State, rightfully so. Arizona State, a lot of people are upset about them, and as well as Clemson being in the bracket and the way that it's set up. But I would argue, they won their conferences. They got the shot. That's what they did. So that's kind of the beauty of those automatic bids, right?
That was the weight they're putting on the whole year. Win your conference.
Right, and a lot of the arguments coming out of this with the Alabama talk, the first and second team out was Alabama and I think Miami, right? Mm-hmm. The argument was, they should be in because of their strengths of schedule. I get that argument. I understand 100%. But if you look at their conference schedule versus their non-conference schedule, they didn't really play anybody, right? If the games that they schedule, right? You know what I mean? That they have a choice to go out and schedule. Alabama didn't play anybody. So my take is, and this is an obvious take, if you want to end up in this bracket, in a bye or in the first round, just win your games. That's all you can do, right? Win your games. Don't lose to Vanderbilt. Don't lose to Oklahoma, right? Don't lose those games that you should not lose. I don't care how many people say that they're the best teams. They're not. The best 12 teams aren't in this playoff. I don't care because that's not how it's done. You know what I mean? And that's clearly, in my opinion, the 12 that made it are the 12 best teams because guess what? That's the way the system was set up. So I don't know any way that you explain it. A lot of people saying IU's in there, SMU's in there, Boise State's in there, Arizona State's in there. Of course they are. That's the way it was set up. They don't fault them because they played the program. You know what I mean? IU lost one game and beat the brakes off everybody else. So I'm very happy with this. I'm not going to be one of those people that's going to complain because I am one of those that also remembers the day of the BCS, and then all the other bowl games didn't mean anything, right? So I'm going to take this. I love 12 teams. It's probably going to go up to 14. To be honest with you, the top 2 seeds will get a bye and then everybody else will play. But we'll see what happens. I'm just a fan of seeing matchups we wouldn't normally see. And that's kind of what this is all about.
Yeah. Speaking of matchups you don't normally see, seeing IU come to South Bend on Friday, December 20th, is going to be such an awesome thing for the state. Hoosier State, man, always been a basketball state, but man, I'm telling you what, football has been kind of prominent lately and been on the top of the radar. So that's a fun matchup. I mean, hell, I would never even thought, Oklahoma or Ohio State, Tennessee, like that's always fun. Like those are two Big Ten SEC teams that that'll be a good watch. SMU, Penn State, two teams that always been kind of second tier to everybody else because they have been winning games, and then look, now they have a chance to roll through the freaking bracket. Just fun stuff. I don't know. I'm pretty pumped about that, and like Dan kind of touched on, like Boise State getting a chance to, show what they're made of and show the world, because I know damn sure. I wouldn't say 90%. I could probably break it down to like 60% of the country never watched a Boise State game this year, and all they saw was Genty stats. So I'm excited to watch them to watch how this unfolds and how they actually play ball games, because it's pretty tough football. So, and what were you were chuckling about something? What's up?
I the matchup you talked about with IU and Notre Dame. Somebody was, and you mentioned the basketball state. I saw a TikTok the other day where someone was saying, here's the rule. If you're a Notre Dame football fan and you're rooting for Notre Dame this weekend, you can't turn around and root for IU basketball when it comes to it. You have to stick with Notre Dame basketball. None of this in-state basketball here stuff. He said, no, you stick with your basketball team. Don't jump ship now. Don't do it. So that's what made me laugh about that, is that guy it was just kind of funny when I saw that come across the screen.
Quick basketball there. I don't care about the men's team, but the women's, probably one of the better teams in the country right now, Notre Dame.
Gross.
So
they're gross, man.
I love it, man. Holy hell. Good watch. Anyway, Dan, I need to hear from you. I need to know your opinions, man, on Arizona State and the Clemson, because I know you and I kind of touched base on this a little bit off screen here, but I just want to know what your thoughts is and what you've been hearing out there, boots on the ground.
Well, I mean, that's been a little outside my travel radius, out that
your budget.
Coast. I've been kind of really hitting hard in the Midwest and maybe the low, the upper SEC area. But Jordan pointed out correctly when we were talking about it off camera, which is, the playoffs doesn't promise you necessarily the 12 best teams, right? It promises you conference winners and such, which I said, Clemson is one that sticks out to me as definitely not one of the 12 best teams. Like, right, they did what they had to do. They won their conference, but like I said, they've just been kind of meh all year and just hanging around, right? So they're just one to me that stands out as just they're not exciting to me, right? Arizona State, hey, good for them, right? Like, I don't remember the last time they were in the talks for a national championship in football, but I mean, it comes to recent memory.
Yeah.
They got some talented players on the team, right? So, I mean, hopefully they can continue the momentum they've got at the end of the year, right? And kind of carry that into what I'm gonna play Texas, right, and make that a good competitive game. But then again, Clemson could surprise everybody. It's all about getting hot at the right time, right? Clemson could just go on a tear right now, and they could prove me and everybody else that said wrong, or they could do kind of what I think a lot of people might expect them to do, which is they made it, but they probably lose out early. It remains to be seen. Like I said, I mean, ideally, right, in an ideal world, maybe it would be we truly get the 12 best teams, but that's super hard, right, and super subjective, you could argue. But kind of ties into like what we talked about all year. It's unfortunate because I think there's teams that have done what they needed to do with better records that just didn't get that opportunity. But that's just the structure of the nature of the beast, really.
Yeah. And with this being the first year, I really think there you go. I really think there'll be some changes after this year. Obviously, with anything, right? This is new. This is first time. I know a lot of the talks were that people were upset about like the Chick-fil-A, Rose Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, things like that. Like they still have contracts, so they had to like fulfill them. So I'm pretty sure maybe going forward they might do a switcheroo where like the first and second rounds would be all home games for the lower seed or whatever, things like that. So there's changes on the horizon, but for what we got and what we have in our hands, and we can't change it as fans. All we can do is talk shit and complain. But honestly, how can you complain about this spread? I mean, yes, maybe if your team didn't make it in and yada yada, but like, damn, like Jordan said, these teams right here you're looking at, all 12 of them, they've handled their business. I mean, and you can't fault a team for losing a conference championship because they got there for a reason. So like SMU, like you can't kick them out. Like you can't put Alabama, a 3-loss team, in there over SMU, who lost to Clemson and for was it 3 points in a ACC championship. Like how is that? How are you going to discipline them, kick them out of the playoffs for their second loss, which was a conference championship loss? Like, yeah, I don't know. So that makes sense to me that why they're there. And Clemson, obviously, they're the conference champion. I mean, and they were lower ranked than Arizona State, so they get the lower seed. So I don't know. There's just things that like I feel like the average fan doesn't understand or aren't willing to listen to and know. And I don't know. One thing I don't understand though is how Notre Dame moved, because weren't they at 6? No,
Everybody moved down because Texas lost.
because Texas lost
Right.
and they were the number 1 seed or
So everybody moved down.
Seed.
Yeah. Well, it's
So
because
everyone
Penn
moved
State
down.
also moved down because Texas went up. Or I'm sorry, Georgia went up. Texas went down a little bit. So it was Penn State was 4, I believe. I don't know how that works, but I think that's how it generally worked. Because they all kind of just moved down a spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I really, really, really wanted to watch IU play freaking Penn State. I really wanted to see it, man. I don't know why.
You get to see it next year. They play each other next year. So
there we go. Okay, well, next year's gonna be so much different.
yeah, it's gonna. I hope just for our area and IU being there, I hope they maintain that talent.
Well, I think they will.
Yeah, I think hopefully that'll keep happening, but we'll see.
When we get to the recruiting board, I mean, they're not on the top 25, but there's some things that are happening that I think the landscape is changing here. So, well, I don't know. I think that's all I really got on this college football playoff, the official bracket, which obviously kicks off on December 20th, which was a Friday. That'll be the Notre Dame IU game, and then it follows with the Penn State SMU, Ohio State Tennessee, and then Texas Clemson on the 21st there. So a good 2 days of football next week. But there is a game being played this week, and this is America's game. Okay, and I'm not talking about the motherfucking Cowboys and their 1-star rating helmets or 1-star ratings. I'm talking about Army Navy. Okay, the amount of history behind this ball game and what this weekend means is so badass. Okay, I mean, I remember as a kid in the buffer weeks, you just turn the TV on and there's nothing else on, and then you stumble across Army Navy and you're like, holy shit, and you're glued to the TV because sometimes it's like 11-7 or it'll be 4-3 somehow. You know, like it was always just so random on the scores, and it's such a dogfight. The triple option, it reminds you of watching old school football, just ground and pound, beating the shit out of each other. And this year, I think is going to be bigger than a lot of years in the past because Navy's coming off one of the better seasons they've had. Army is getting ready to complete one of the best seasons they've fucking had in a long time. They're still ranked 22nd in the country with their only loss to Notre Dame. So a lot of players. We got Blake Hovack and Bryson Daly. I mean, those two quarterbacks going to square off, and I'm really pumped. So, Dan, I'll start with you. I think I know where you're going to pick on this game, but Navy or Army to win this game this weekend?
I'm going to go with Army. I mean, I know I'm a Navy veteran, but Army,
what the fuck, Dan?
Army played better. Army's been playing better.
Dude, fight for your boys, man. There's that blood in you.
It's not my boys no more. Well,
that water in you.
Yeah. Look,
tugboat you.
Chalk it up
that semen in you, dude. Let's go. Come on,
chalk it up to the Navy taught me to think logically, and logically, it just tells me that I think that Army's gonna end up winning that.
Jordan, what you got?
Here's okay. I'm glad this game is a thing. It's bigger, probably, like you said, this year than it has been in the past. I have never given a shit about this game.
No, you don't care about it, but it's on.
I don't. Right, and I think that you watch it because it's on college football. It's the only game on. You're like, fuck, right? I gotta watch something. Man. Yeah, it's fine.
Beautiful.
It's fine. I have no stakes in this game. I think Army runs away with it. Navy kind of fell apart at the end of the year after they were exposed by Notre Dame. Both teams were actually exposed by Notre Dame. Just nobody could do anything about Army. Yeah, I don't know.
Fucking
What are you doing? Getting so
Inspector
close.
Gadget
I
over
was
there.
trying to read something. I don't have my glasses.
He's like, look in my eyes. Look in my
He's
eyes.
like,
Look
I'm trying
at
to
me.
in my eyes
hypnotize
and
you
let
into
me
thinking
know.
my way.
But yeah, I'm gonna
Motherfucker.
go Army with this. I think that's the
Alright.
way to go.
Well, here's a landscape here. We have two of the best quarterbacks in the triple option game. You have future heroes of this country fighting off in this game. Army has 65.9, so we'll call it 66% of the votes. But if you guys have been watching the live stream, old Xavier Truggle, head coach of Navy in my stream, not in real life. We've taken the Navy to a motherfucking new level. And Blake Hovack, I'm letting you know, him and Eli, one of the best combinations in the game. That's a running back and a quarterback. And the Navy's going to pull this game out of their ass on the big stage with all the random gazers of the football this weekend. It's going to be Navy. It's going to be midshipmen. And I've memorized their fight song because I score so many fucking points on the live stream. You know what I'm saying? God, want me to sing it for you? All right, I won't do it. But no, Navy wins, man. Navy's going to take care of business here.
Really?
Yeah, because Mr. Bryson Daly, he's going to walk in there and his fucking dress loose. Think he saw that in a bag of fucking chips. Sorry to tell you, buddy. You ran into the wrong fucking ship. And these are the midshipmen.
That's
They're going
wild.
to take care of business. I'm just letting y'all know.
All right, let's go. All right,
They're taking care of business.
good. I like
I
it.
love Navy. Let's jump into the Heisman finalists. The 2024 Heisman finalists. We have 4 of the best players in the country. Some will argue, maybe not. But I'm going to tell you, I believe you got these right. Here we go. From left to right, you got Dylan Gabriel of the Oregon Ducks, the number 1 team in the country, leading the country in turnover percentage. He's just leading the country in a lot of stats. Takes care of the football and leads his team. Travis Hunter doesn't lead a very good team, but he's on a team. He plays both ways. A lot of arguments about that. Is that more important than stats? I saw the Oregon Duck Puddles come on to the Pat McAfee show, and what he said, well, he can't talk, but he wrote on a whiteboard and said, "Snaps ain't a stat, bro." So I love that. I love that all the way. So hey, he's a good player, generational talent. Respect him for doing both ways, but is he the guy? And then right next to him, you got Ashton Jeanty, the talk of the year. He's been a hot topic. That store, RIP to that store. I don't think it's around anymore, but Hot Topic was a great time. But Ashton Jeanty leading the country in rushing. And I
Try
think
to get my T-shirts from.
there you go. Ashton Jeanty leading country in rushing, and I believe rushing touchdowns. Most
Not
dominant
a phase,
force.
it's a lifestyle.
Fucking checkerboard. All I can think is checkerboard every time. Dude. Fucking yeah, okay. Love that. But no, he's one of the best running backs in the country. Get me all fuckered up, Jordan. One of the best running backs in the country, and I'm telling you guys what, I cannot wait for you guys to see him play and the squad play because they play at a different level. It's not your normal Boise State. It's a very, very well-coached football team, and he is electrifying every time he touches the football. Then you got Cam Ward, the only heart and soul of the Miami Hurricanes this year. If he could play defense, he should have done Travis Hunter this year. He should have played fucking linebacker or something.
He ain't athletic enough to do that.
Yeah, no. But I think what sucks for Cam Ward is that he had to try even harder than he should have had to, as in he forced too much shit because he knew his team had to score points because his defense couldn't do shit.
Yep.
I think he's deserving to go to New York and sit next to these great players, but I don't think he wins this. I think he finishes in the 4th position. So I give you my 4th position. Dan, we talked all year long, man. Who is going to be your Heisman winner in your heart, and what do you feel going into this weekend? Because this is on Saturday. They're going to announce the Heisman. So
Well, here's the thing. I think probably that GNT should win, right? I honestly don't know if he will. I have this suspicion that it's going to end up being Travis Hunter, which again, I don't really think he's he's should be winning the Heisman. It just, for some reason, my gut's telling me that's where they're going to go. I think it should be GNT. I think if it should probably be GT, then you could maybe make a 1A, 1B argument, or 2A, 2B argument for Gabriel and Hunter, and then Cam Ward last. And that's only because you have to look at it where his team landed, I guess.
Yeah. He did turn the ball over a lot, which sucks.
But,
All
I
right.
mean, he was exciting to watch. I'll give him that, right?
Yes, he was.
I mean, it's just hard. It's some of the stuff that, like, I would like to base it on. I know they don't probably look at, right? Like,
Right.
it is what it is.
They should give you a fucking AP vote. That'd be dope.
I'd appreciate it.
Fuck yeah. Appreciate you, Miss Katie's. Jordan, what's your heart say, man?
I think we've mentioned it all year. I think we've had this conversation many times. GT is the way I'm going. I hope he wins. Do I think he's going to win? Probably not. Even Marcus Freeman was on a podcast saying he'd vote for Travis Hunter if he had a vote. I don't know. I think what he's doing is amazing. I'm not trying to discredit any of these four people. Shout out to me though for calling Cam Ward at least being a finalist. He was my
Good
early
job.
pick, but
Good
shout
job,
out
George.
there. But I think I want to go GT. I hope he wins. I hope he gets it taken care of, gets that vote, gets his name called, all that stuff. I don't know. I don't know, man. Gabriel's good too. Gabriel's fantastic when you think about it, though. I think
He's damn good. I think
probably
leads
should
the
be higher
country.
than if you had any other year where these two weren't in there. He's obviously a front runner for that. But yeah, I think GT goes, or I want GT to win. Travis Hunter's probably going to get the nod. So
Isn't that sad though? We already know kind of how that feels, or how like the feelings have been all year. They've been sucking him off so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been doing generational things, whatever, right? Here, whatever. But my goodness, man, if you just, and Boise State's coach came on and gave like a 20-minute spiel on like pumping Genty up, and like it was amazing just to hear. And one of the things he kept saying was, just turn the film on. He goes, Heisman voters, please, just God forbid, one time, just turn the film on and watch him play. He's not a normal kid. And if you want to take off the field,
they're not even just like open runs. Some of them, yeah, but he's obviously making contact, making people miss. Like
he leads the country in yards after contact. Like,
right,
this man's getting hit on the line of scrimmage and then busting it for 95 yards. Like,
exactly.
So,
yeah.
And then, then you go to Travis Hunter, which, yes, he's a social media phenomenon. He's a superstar. Everyone loves him. And everyone says he's a great kid, and I'm not saying he's not. But he's doing the same things that Ashton Genty is. It's just his stats aren't as appealing. Like Dan said, I thought almost 4 weeks ago, probably. He's like, yeah, okay, good. If you look at his stats, he's not even leading in any like top 10 in receiving. Or receiving touchdowns, and then defensive side, he's not even, in the top either. So, like, good you play both ways.
Jordan called that out. I would love to take credit for that. But
okay, well, Jordan, either way, the Winning Edge Football Podcast has called that out, and us as collectives, we dug into that, and we just really think that stats cannot be a stat, or snaps cannot be a stat. You have to perform, and Genty's doing his position to the damnedest. Which, like the MVP, we talk about the MVP in the NFL and how it just literally goes to the quarterbacks. And no one even thinks about running backs. Maybe this year is a breaking point for them, but I'm telling you what, it's a most popular vote, and I feel like Travis Hunter has more popularity than Ashton Genty does. But I feel like the big talking heads of football and on the TV and the media that I feel like I have a feeling that know a thing or two about football, they're all on the Genty side. So it's hard not to vote for him because I'm kind of a front runner for, not front runner, I'm kind of a homer for Boise State. And so that'd be awesome to see them host a freaking Heisman Trophy and have that in their repertoire for recruiting and everything that comes along with that. And just for him, because he's a phenomenal kid. He really is. He's a phenomenal kid. He has many chances. I think 2 years in a row, he's been very sought after in the transfer portal. People are throwing a ton of money his way, and he kept saying, no, I'm trying to build something here. I'm trying to build a legacy and change lives. So I hope he gets it just to complete his story and get him to boost into the NFL and have a great career. So that's me. That's my Heisman pitch. Come on, Genty. Come on, Genty.
I don't know how this stat works, but passes defended over here when I'm looking at stats. Passes defended. I don't know what that means because it's only has The person in first is 17, which like what does that mean? Obviously they defended more
Is
passes
it
than
like
that.
deflected or like
It
they've
says
thrown him
passes
the ball?
defended that's what it says. Passes defended.
So
They don't really break it down.
He's
But
defended a pass
yeah, but
as
he's
a corner.
Travis Hunter is tied for 8th in this one. Like he has 4 interceptions. Like that's not mind-boggling. I mean, that's tied for 17th. You know, with everybody. If you think tied for 17th, you're like, holy shit. But one person has 7, the second person has 6, the third person has 5, and there's a ton of those. And then you're tied for 17th because you have so many people tied for third. But
Right.
like, I get it. I get what he's doing. He is number 6 when it comes to receiving yards. So like I get it. He's number
That's not
6
bad.
overall. He's got 14 touchdowns on the offensive side. He's had 92 receptions. He is the 5th most receptions in the league. So like, I don't know, man. I don't know what you're supposed to do with that. They're not mind blowing stats to me. I don't care that he plays both ways. He impacts both sides, yes, but impact players aren't the ones that win the Heisman. You're talking about the best player in the fucking college football, and that is Ginty, hands down, top to
Yes.
bottom. What he's doing, finishing what? I don't know. What's he going to finish second, right? In like of all time? Is that how this works? Is that where he's at?
Yeah, because he's
I'm gonna look.
behind
He's finished
Bo
with
Jackson, right? Or not Bo
Yeah, he's-
Jackson.
Barry Sanders.
Barry
Yeah,
Sanders.
he's 24, basically 3 yards short of 2,500 rushing yards.
Yeah, look at the guy
Um,
underneath him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what are you fucking even talking about? And
So-
he leads the country in carries too. Which, hey, defense, you think you'd hone in on him? They try. They fucking can't stop him, guys. I'm telling you. He
So,
leads a,
okay, here-
he 34
here.
fucking carries a game. What's his carries a game?
He's-
Hold up, you got it. Come on.
Carries per game. His average. You want to know his average?
Yeah, what is his
Yards
average
per carry?
carries? Or yards per carry?
Uh,
Yeah, let me hear his yards per carry because that matters more than his fucking carries per game.
His yards per carry is 7.3.
Jesus
7
fucking
yards.
Christ.
7.3 yards. That's bananas. The next one is, well, you got some of these people who have attempted it one time. So like if you did the whole,
Yeah, you got to filter
um,
shit out like at max
yeah,
X
yeah.
amount of minimum fucking snaps or whatever.
Somebody here has 57 attempts as a 9, but that's 57. That's not. He only has 514.
He
yards.
has 344 carries and he's still averaging almost 7.5 yards a pop
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
with
That's absolute crazy.
29 touchdowns.
So Barry Sanders, 2,628 yards. Number 1, Melvin Gordon, 2014, 2,587. Kevin Smith, UCF, 2,567, and then Ginty is 4th as it stands currently. I don't know how those are going to work when you
Yeah.
go to the bowl games and the
Yeah,
playoff, and if
that's
that's going
another
to
thing
actually.
too. Like everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, he's better than Barry." I'm like, "No, guys, Barry did it in like a regular season with like a lot less games and versus
Mhm.
fucking Big 12 when the Big 12 was the Big 12, like or Big 10 or whatever it was, not Big 10. I don't know what Big 11. I don't know what the fuck it was, but it was big time football. Like it was
He
Nebraska.
did it in 11 games.
Yeah, he did in 11 games. So there's more games being played nowadays, but still, it just shows that how close he is to one of the best to ever do it.
Yep.
And
But
and,
you don't see right here is Travis Hunter, right? So receiving yards all time. That's where I was going to.
but he can't because he plays both ways. Then be better. I
No,
don't know what you want me to do.
yeah, dude. I don't know. I don't understand how this is a conversation this year specifically.
Yeah, I just
Single season, 2000 is the top, 2060, and we discussed he's got what 1400, right? Not even.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
he's got 1100. You're fucking 900 yards off from being first. Your 1100 doesn't put you in the top 30, and you're still off by 500. So like, I don't want to have this conversation that he's impacting both. And that will be kind of, I will give up and stop caring about the Heisman moving forward if this man doesn't win it. Ginty doesn't win it. I'm checked out, right?
I
It's
lost
like,
my
okay,
faith in
I
the
see what it is.
football
Yes.
community of that.
Yep.
So listen to this. So here's the splits, right? So let's just put it this way: December. Okay. Now be mindful what week we're in December, right? Today is December 10th. He has 32 carries, 209 yards, 6.5 yards per carry, 1 touchdown, 75 yards is his longest, 2 receptions for 14 yards. Okay. Oh, wait, that was one fucking game versus a conference championship in UNLV. Okay. Like, it's that stat line right there for most people, that's 2, maybe 3 games. Like, dude, turn the film on. Watch the conference championship. Turn the Mountain West on and watch him dominate, dude. They knew he was getting the ball. They had almost 12 guys in the box, man. They had the ref in there playing and everything. It was just insane.
You know what this is? Just let's sum it up, right? This is the Illuminati. That's what it is.
Here's something crazy, and we could just do this all day. Travis Hunter, right? Receiving yards versus AP top 25, 26. Yards per reception versus AP top 25, 8.7. Receptions versus AP top 25, 3. What are we talking about? You know what I mean?
You guys want to know what he did versus Oregon?
Who, GT?
Week 2 is September 7th. They lost 37-34 to Oregon, number 1 team in the country. Just won the Big Ten championship.
Mm-hmm.
He had 25 carries, 192 yards, averaged 7.5 yards per carry, or 7.7, sorry. 3 touchdowns, and his longest rush was 70 yards. So you're telling me this kid can't play ball?
Yeah, no, dude. I will be extremely disappointed if that man doesn't win that.
The first time they played UNLV, right? They won 29-24. 33 carries, 128 yards, and a tutty. Second time, 33 carries, 209 yards, 6.5 yards carry, and a touchdown. You think the first time they learned how to stop him, they couldn't. They played him again, and he still fucking dominated, ran down their throat.
Yep.
Can't stop the kid, man. That's why I'm so pumped about them being in the playoff. One, him getting to do some rest time, because I think that's going to be huge for the playoffs. Genty needs a fucking break. He has almost 400 carries this season. Get him a freaking rest, get him healthy as hell. Watch about to explode. I'm not saying they win a national championship, but I sure in hell know they're going to make a nice wave.
Yep.
A nice wave. Real quick, we'll change topics. Obviously, we can sit here and debate all day long about that. This was as of, I think, 2 days ago, the 2025 team recruiting rankings. I think this is just high school, not including transfer portal, as that opened up a few days ago as well. But, I mean, your first line there, 1 through 5, is pretty much what, you would expect, right? The Texas, the Alabama, Georgia, Oregon, Ohio State. Second line, a couple guys you wouldn't recognize or realize that should be there, right? Auburn. Wow, like good for you guys, right? 6th in the country in recruiting right now, like they're trying to make a play. And then you got Texas A&M. I mean, here you go, right? Michigan, yeah, we can. They just came off national championship, so they're gonna have some recruits, especially in-home guys. Tennessee, same thing. Then you jump into the third line, USC, Miami, Penn State. Normally not huge recruiting schools, all 3 of them. You don't really hear about Penn State being in top 5, top 10. Am I wrong on that, Jordan?
No, you're right, and I was slightly disappointed. But that's coming off the high of what we had a couple of years ago with the Drew Aller, Nicholas Singleton, Katron Allen, Abdul Carter class, which is like bananas, right? So they were top 5 then, but yeah. And they just flipped a tight end, the number 3 tight end in the country, from Michigan to Penn State for National Signing Day. So that was huge.
If you're playing tight end in the country and you're in high school, you're a junior or you're a senior, why the fuck would you not come play for either Notre Dame or goddamn Penn State?
I mean,
look what they've been doing. Those 2 schools, look what they've been doing, especially Penn State lately.
Yep.
I mean, good.
I mean, Notre Dame for a much longer time, right?
3 years in a row, we've had top 5 picks in the draft.
Yeah, I mean,
and Mitchell Evans would have been even better if he didn't keep getting hurt. So that's awesome. Let's jump down to the 4th row there. I mean, look at this, right? Georgia Tech, Missouri. I mean, you almost could say Florida State's a surprise, but I feel like they would have been higher given the last couple of years. But I think they're kind of slowly trickled down. But Georgia Tech.
Interesting kind of thing here too is so you see Ole Miss is sitting there at what is it, 16?
Yeah.
So just looking, and I know it's really early on in the transfer portal, right? but you got an edge rusher, and this is on 24/7 Sports, right? They have him at a 4-star at 94. Left Nebraska to go to Ole Miss. You have another 4-star inside linebacker who's a 93, left Arkansas to go to Ole Miss. You have another 4-star 93 D lineman leaving Alabama to go to Ole Miss. So, like, their recruiting is good, and they're apparently really stouting up their defense through the transfer portal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look who they got to stop the next couple of years, right? You know, you got the
That's
Alabama,
what I mean. It's
Texas.
like, so watch out for them, because not only do you have good recruiting, but you've also got what's looked like some good players coming from the transfer portal. So you got some immediate impact heading your way, potentially.
And
for
Lane
Ole Miss.
Kiffin ain't no slouch of a coach now. I mean, people
Mhm.
he hasn't made that big splash season yet, but like maybe this could be it. You know, there's good transfers coming right in and helping him out in the spots that he probably lost or just didn't have enough talent. And like, watch out for Ole Miss, man. And Oklahoma, even. I mean, they've been kind of down the last couple of years, but look at them, right? They're still in the top 25 recruiting. Like, that just shows you that brand matters. Let's jump
Crazy,
down to
dude.
the fifth line here. South Carolina, the Gamecocks, Nebraska Huskies, Huskers, sorry, the Washington Huskies, TCU. Like, what? Like, what are we doing? Remember when TCU used to be the shit with Boykin?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that used to be the funnest.
That was
the
where
most
Andy
fun.
Dalton played too, wasn't it? Was TCU?
Yeah, Andy Dalton. I remember they had this linebacker, something Dawson, number 47. And I'm like, holy shit, this dude's a fucking animal. And then Wisconsin to round out the top 25 recruiting class. So far. I mean, obviously, there's still going to be some ups and downs for these teams, and there's some people moving still, and there's all kinds of different things that are variables. I just want to give a broad outlook onto this because it's just, I like recruiting. I like talking about recruiting because it's like seeing where these kids, like what schools have, persuasion, what schools
Mhm.
have dogs in them, and who can recruit. I feel like if you can recruit, you can coach, or at least it should correlate anyway. I should say.
Right.
Like Marcus Freeman
feel
doing
that.
a hell of a job at Notre Dame, and with this playoff, we cannot lose first round playoff. We have to go to Georgia and we have to put up a fight and even beat Georgia. If we can do those two things, those two, I'm telling you what, Notre Dame, you'll see them in the top 2 tiers up there, the top 10, no matter what. Because I feel like every kid in high school is like, our generation, Notre Dame, that's cool. They have great regular seasons and then they shit the bed when they go to playoffs. They get body bagged by Alabama, or they get shat on by Clemson, or whatever it is when the big time comes. But I really think that Marcus Freeman has this team wired, and I think they have a different outlook on these bigger games than Brian Kelly did. So it could be a huge transfer port. The Fighting Irish getting into there and really breaking that frickin' ceiling. Be badass.
I'm excited. I mean, next year is going to be sick. I'm not trying to jump ahead, but I think
Next
for
year
Penn
will
State this year, though, I think beating the two teams, I don't want to say should, because like I said, anything can happen. But I say if you want to squash all the Ohio State, all of the losing to Michigan, losing to Ohio State stuff, right? I'm not gonna have a big problem with Oregon. Both of those games that they played, the number 1 team in the country, the number 2 team in the country, and lost by 1 score. I was pleasantly surprised with the Oregon game. I told you I was expecting a blowout, and it was there for a little bit. Right, it was a blowout.
It was scary. It was scary for a minute.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. I love the layout for this bracket, the way it's coming up. The recruiting class is still good. It's good enough for the guys we have returning for their senior years, hopefully, with Drew Aller coming back, which is why we lost, because of the poor decision making, I think, from Drew Aller in that game. You did not need to throw that pass with the interception, right? You just didn't need to. Well, let's talk about that. I know we have talked about much about those games, but let's right off the bat, that was just poor decision making. Hopefully that goes away, gets better, whatever it is, right? So it showed that we could play with the big boys. That's great. I love to see that. No more of this getting blown out stuff. But Penn State, Drew Aller's coming back. Nicholas Singleton's coming back. Katron Allen's coming back. Abdul Carter's coming back. Dennis Sutton's coming back. So, like, there's some talent coming back at your core production, which is going to be fantastic. So that's what gets me excited about next year, is hopefully that just they maintain and they just grow and get better, right?
Yeah, and then it can pave the way for the 15th recruiting class in the country.
Yeah, right.
You know,
And they've
show them
already
what it looks like, and let them work behind them guys.
they're already like third for 2026. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Keep it up.
they got 5 commits or 8 commits already going into the year after this. So I mean, they're hitting it strong. We'll have to see what happens. Keep it going. I would take this regardless. I think if you lose to SMU, I probably wouldn't call it a success. But I think now the new thing is making the playoff is kind of a successful season, right? But this is a game you should win, right? I think that's kind of how I'm going to lay it out.
Yeah, it's a must
Notre
win game
Dame's-
for Penn State
yeah,
and James
Notre
Franklin.
Dame's in the same way.
Oh yeah, they have to win. Otherwise,
They lose
the NIU loss, NIL loss, or whatever the fuck it was. Northern Illinois, that loss looks even uglier, and they'll haunt you for recruiting classes on end. You know, one big thing that shows out to me is only one Big 12 team in here, and that's TCU. Like, good for you guys, right? Breaking the top 25, and where's your counterparts, right? Where's the Colorados? Where's the, all these big fucking names, right? The big talkers. TCU sneaking in there, taking your business. I like it. And then Georgia Tech with the ACC. I mean, yeah, you have Florida State right there, but Georgia Tech. I mean, watch out. Maybe this is something for future. Maybe you have a SMU Georgia Tech ACC championship next year or something along them lines. So good for you, man. Keep recruiting. That's all you can do is keep bringing talent in. Keep bringing it in, and something will hit eventually.
Oh yeah,
It has to.
It's exciting.
Oh yeah, it's exciting, and I love it, and I want some more of it. I try so hard. I do. Can't rise above it. Come on. Let's jump over to the college football bracket tournament. I want to host a tournament, kind of like how the NCAA March Madness is. They have a bracket on the bracket challenge on the ESPN website. I did create a group. Actually, I could probably show that screenshot now if you guys want to hop on that. Let's do that. Sweet. So I did create a group, the Winning Edge Football CFB Playoff. It looks like we already have Bradley in there, so thank you for hopping on there, Brad. So I'll send the code out on our Facebook group. So if you're not in the Facebook group yet, let me know. It's just called the Winning Edge Football. So look it up. You'll see the logo, and it'll get you right where you need to go. Join the group. It is a public group, so you can join. Don't have to worry about all that fun stuff.
Holy shit,
What,
dude! I saw 50 grand, and I was like, this man is paying out. Look at that, right?
Fucker, I wish. No, that's the ESPN paying out. That's Capital
I know.
One.
I was like,
that
damn.
ain't Big Daddy. That ain't Big Daddy.
Holy
Big Bag Zach, man. We
shit.
ain't paying no damn money. But there will be a cash prize. It won't be 50 grand, and at all. I was thinking, we're still coming up with the prize amount. We will get you guys the prize, and we'll pick. You get one entry. Okay, so one entry on the bracket. You only can fill out one, so make sure it's the best one. And once you submit that, I'm hoping we get 10, 20 people in here, and I think that'd be sweet. The top bracket will win money, win the whole prize, and then the second place finisher will get a participation, a gift of some sort. It won't be cash, but it'll be something pretty cool. They haven't done yet.
Live in person visit from Daniel Gallagher.
Oh, boots on the ground.
You don't want me in your house.
Boots on the ground.
No, and then so what? And I also thought about doing is, we'll get in there, and then whoever's winning or wins the cash prize, I was thinking about bringing them on the podcast and letting them kind of go through, take us through how they got to their winning bracket, and then just their initial thoughts about college football and things like that. So get them on the podcast for a little while. I'll let them show their face if they're willing to do that, and I think that'd be really cool. So obviously engagement. We're trying to get some more engagement in here. The YouTube side, we've been doing better on views and things like that. So make sure if you are watching, drop likes, comments. We like to banter back and forth together. That's a good time for us to communicate and hear your thoughts as well. As well as the Facebook group, guys. Continue doing that, sharing our post. You guys are allowed to post in there. All I gotta do is hit submit or accept that you guys are posting, and then you guys can post what you think, maybe a question of the day or something that you guys come up with or something along the lines. So don't be scared. Don't be scared to share and get involved. Right, get involved because it's just us three. We're just normal dudes just hanging out on once a week, goofing off, and then trying to keep up with all these other sports happenings in the world. So we'd really like you guys to join this I guess college football bracket. I think it'd be really freaking fun to be able to go back and forth, and we'll be able to update it per week, and say, oh shit, like look, Brad's in there, he's taking the lead right now. You guys better watch your picks, things like that. So I think it'd be really kind of cool, just to kind of get you guys involved and feel like you guys are involved and win some cash. I mean, hell, everyone likes a little cash, especially around the holidays, right? Hell yeah. We like to do it. So I'll be posting on the Facebook group the official post and the link and all that, the password, how to get into it, and all that fun jazz. And I'll have the final prize listed on there, so you guys have something you guys are working towards, I should say. All the group passwords right there. So I might have to change that now that it's on the YouTube, but it's okay. Maybe not. That's the fucking password right there. Y'all get in there. Let's join it. Submit your brackets. Let's go. Let's get after it. So I think that'd be really sweet to get involved with, guys. Hey, I've never done this shit before, so y'all just
blow it up.
Jordan,
shit.
Yeah, I want 50 fucking brackets in there, and maybe we might be able to do $50 instead of not 50.
I'm winning one way or another when I put 100 brackets.
I'm making 10 brackets.
Zach, I don't know what you did, but I just got an alert saying all of our identities were stolen.
Oh shit!
Damn.
Fucking Russia.
Well, hey, strike us again.
The winner will get paid out in Shiba Inu Bitcoin or Shiba Inu.
There you go.
Dogecoin. We got Dogecoin coming back.
That's too expensive. Shiba Inu is like 1,000th of a cent.
Ooh, I can afford that. At least 100 shares, at least.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Well, let's wrap this up, boys. Appreciate you guys joining in. Like, subscribe on the YouTube side, join the Facebook group, and then get ready for the post for the Winning Edge football bracket for the playoffs upcoming. And we wish you guys well. We wish you well as in watching some damn good football, Army and Navy. Sure. I want to hear what you guys think on that. I think that's always a fun weekend of sports. And then, yeah, I just hope you guys are all doing well. Dan, Jordan, anything for the group? Anything for our fans?
Go Penn State. Let's go Penn State, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, Citrus Bowl. That's where it's at.
We'll get into all the Bowl Mania, okay? We'll post our top Bowl Mania games, all right? That'll be coming soon. Don't worry. We're gonna start diving into this shit, y'all. Just don't worry about it, okay? And we're gonna need some content for after the season, okay? We're gonna have to cover something. And basketball can only take us so far, okay? Basketball can only take us so far. We might have to just play a whole bunch of college football 25 games and broadcast them on here or something.
You know what?
I don't know.
Off season, we run a tournament. Maybe not a tournament. We keep record. Keep our records against each other. Maybe Dan doesn't want to catch these hands, but I know Zach, you want to. So
fuck
if you
yeah,
want to,
I'm 0-2 versus your ass. I need to get redemption.
Let's go, baby.
That's because Jordan cheats and makes up his own juke moves and
fucking
stuff.
Wow. Yeah, remember when he had H-Han and Madden? Little bastard.
So good, too good, the best.
Fuck him, dude.
That whole thing was rigged. I mean, getting fired in the middle of the season.
Yeah, but then you went to a conference rival and fucking stole their players.
Yeah, and then I would go to the Super Bowl every single season and lose to Jordan, who would also win Coach of the Year, even when I won the Super Bowl.
Fucking rat bastard. All right, we love you guys. Thank you for joining. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Adios.